Dana Amoasi IV is also the Executive Director of the Institute for Energy Securities. He understands matters in this arena. And so we've called him up to help us appreciate some of the issues better. Hello, good evening, sir. Welcome to Eyewitness News. How serious is it? Is it one of those things that people say and government runs and to them and so they change their minds? Or it appears to you from where you sit that the IPPs are really determined to turn off the plants should government fail to pay them the 30% at least of what government owes them?
Good evening to you, Salom, and to your listeners. Yes, we can understand the posture of government to some extent. This is not the first time the IPPs have threatened to shut down their plants because of what government owes them. If I could count, in the last 6 years, we've cited about 4 or 5 incidents. In all these cases, governments or they themselves were not able to make good their word, and power were spared of any shutdown. And so it could be the reason why government believe that, look, they won't shut it down for whatever reason, because it's not the first time they are saying this. But then when you go to the corridors of the IPP this time, you get an indication that this time around, they mean business. They don't want to get they don't want to hear any theories, no policies, no stories, nothing apart from government making a clear commitment to paying 30% of what they are owed. And so that's what we pick from the corridors of the IPPs. This time around, they mean business.
I see, but government has been trying to engage them, really. Government wants to do a debt restructuring with them in respect of what it owes them, $1.73 billion. But they say no. That really puts government in a very difficult situation. Almost every debtor to government is taking a hit, in one way or the other, haircuts here and there. Is it not, are the IPPs not being too heavy-handed on government, turning down government's attempt or proposal to restructure their debt so government can have some time to pay?
If a bondholder chooses to go by government restructuring mechanism, that is fine, because that bondholder probably the money in there is his own money, and so can manage whatever that will come out of that. But when you find any plant in Ghana, it's largely as a result of somebody's financial or financing structure. And so this IPPs or any other power producer in Ghana owes a lender, owes a financing scheme. And when you don't pay on time, then, of course, get to know that you are compounding your issues, and also you are suffering some reputational damage because you don't pay your debt on time. And so if they choose to go and do the restructuring, then, of course, they might first go to their financiers and say that we are going to restructure, we are going to go into terms of government, and so accept that. If the financiers don't accept that, there is no way the individual power producers can go into any other agreement with government. Not at all.
So what should government be doing? I mean, government has been engaging them, all day today, some part of yesterday, etc. And indeed, the allegation that government is selectively dealing with some of them, rather than talking to the chamber, which is a group of all of them put together, there's that allegation that government is being discriminatory in how it intends to pay them, etc. Is there anything wrong with that approach? In any case, government contracted with them individually. So why should government be forced, or why should there be that impression that government should be dealing with all of them together? Is there anything wrong with government seeking to deal with them individually in a discriminatory fashion?
Well, we don't have any, idea about this situation. You were just telling us. But then they are now coming in as a chamber, and they want to be dealt with as such. If government chooses to deal with anybody individually, and the person also accepts, that is fine. But this is the indication we have gotten since the last 3 days. All the IPPs have served notice to Gridco and issued zero nomination, it means that they have declared out that we don't have any power available for you from the 1st of next month. All of them have done that. And so government will be doing that at its own risk by dealing with them individually. Yes, all of them have given indication to Gridco that we have declared unavailability. And so we believe that the best way out is to engage them as a body, engage their leadership, and have a way out. Prove some form of commitment to them. And I'm sure the Ghanaians are like us, and they also understand they are in business. And I'm sure that they want to be in business for a long while. That's why at this moment we also add our voice that the IPPs might be considered at a point and save us the shame and reputational damage. Because if they succeed in shutting down Salem, it's going to send a wrong signal to potential investors. It suggests the poor handling of the power sector by government. And that reputational damage will be huge going forward. If they do it once, I bet you they have now the trump card to repeat it at any point in time. That becomes a bad precedent. And so government should also find a way and avert the situation. And the IPPs must also be considerate at a point and save us the shame.
But how considerate can they be? And how can they do that? Because they say that they do not have the resources to go beyond, today, June 30th, which means that by end of today, they might have run out of resources that will continue, leaving the plants on. What can they do? How considerate? How else can they get?
To the IPPs, a firm commitment from government is enough of a resource. They can go to the market and shop with that. So government must give them some firm commitment.
So why, if this firm commitment is enough, why then do you think government is being, should I say, sluggish in giving this commitment?
Yeah, we've all seen the attitude towards resolving this issue from government, and we kind of wonder why. But you and I were not there, and we can't speak for government why they chose to sit all this while and wait to the last minute before they start engagement. That is very bad.
Others have also suggested that the ECG and NETCO in recent months have, collected quite a bit of money, and is that not enough to plug some holes at least?
Well, that might be a starting point, but that will not be enough. You see, we'll keep on compounding this debt until we choose at a point to block all the leakages in the system. A high level of transmission and distribution losses in the value chain, in the supply chain, it's one end that contributes to this situation that we have. You have transmission loss of close to 5%, distribution loss of close to 28%. You are losing almost 33% of your power that you procure from the power producers. How can you account for this? How can you be going through these losses and still believe that you can sustain the power sector and you'll be able to meet your obligation to the power producers? And so the ECG and Gridco and NETCO must also, up their game and block the leakages. For over 10 years, we've invested, every year we invest into the transmission system. Yet it's the same level of losses that we incur year on year. So what is the incentive in investing in the grid? Maybe it's time to consider something different. The approach may be wrong. They should go back to the drawing board and work on that.
Very well. Thank you so much, Amoasi IV, Executive Director of the Institute for Energy Securities, IES, speaking to us on this matter on Eyewitness News.